Okay. Good evening. Okay, so quick poll. Who knows what FDC3 is? Just put your hands up if. Excellent. That's about half the room. Okay, so this is a really important part of what we've been focused on for many years now, which is it stands for Financial Desktop Connectivity and Collaboration Consortium. It was actually founded by OpenFin back in 2017, and it essentially allows desktop interoperability to take place using standardized messaging. So FDC3 is effectively the standard, the messaging that people can use, and we really rid ourselves of the need for these kind of bilateral integrations, bespoke integrations, which are really costly to the industry, and we can do things with relative certainty using FDC3. I'm going to give you some examples of that later on. But there's also a ton of myths about FDC3 and where they are and what our role is in FDC3 today. So I thought I would go for clarity and facts about our position and what we do today. So let's start at the top. So yeah, we did found it back in 2017. It was quite amazing at a dinner in Lombard, number 1 Lombard Bank with a number of banks, a couple of vendors as well, where we really agreed that there was this need for this standardized messaging. Really important, and it took a life of its own. I mean, it was crazy. Even the press release had quotes from like, I think 10 or 12 different organizations. It was really impressive. People really care about this as a problem, wanted to solve it, wanted everybody to get behind. We contributed it to the FINOS Foundation because we thought it's best to be owned by industry for it to really kind of grow and foster in a more neutral setting. We are very active participants in FDC3 today. We are certified across all of our product suite today, 1.2 and 2.0 certified. As I said, we support it across everything we do, so desktop, native, adapters in browser, and we also have cloud interoperability, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about today. We also spend a huge amount of time helping our clients get started with FDC3. We have lots of code samples, certified samples, which you can use. Our solution engineers are great at really helping customers get started with the basics, and also giving great advice about more complex workflows that you can achieve using FDC3. So how is it going? It's been quite a few years. And as always with projects like this, I remember when we started, people were like, it takes a while to change an industry. It takes a while to establish a standard. But it's definitely been happening. And if I was to give you a situation report today, I'd say, look, the good about this is that our customers, in particular, the biggest banks, biggest asset managers, also smaller firms as well, are using FDC3 today. They're mainly using it internally for their own applications. It's incredibly powerful what they've managed to achieve. So this kind of gets onto the second bit. It's like there's really exciting workflows that our clients have developed. They're live, they're in production, they deliver real value. You may have heard us talk about the toggle tax where people are switching between applications, they're rekeying information. All of this is a really significant loss of productivity, and it really induces some very unnecessary operational risk into a firm, and this is a great way of alleviating that. So this is good. We're also now kind of seeing that it's not just about the desktop, but or a more containerized app, which is how it started, but also now could we put FDC3 for web browsers in general, and that's been a big part of what everybody's been focused on more recently. And building on that, our work with FINOS, we have a number of regulars, Johan Sarderson, who's here tonight, and some of our engineers who participate very regularly at FINOS in these sessions as maintainers. And we're really distilling a lot of the information that we get from real-world use cases with from our clients, be it vendors, banks, asset managers, synthesizing that information to help inform the roadmap of what's going on at Finos. So whether this is about the initiative around desktop agent bridging, identity and threat modeling, which is a really big topic, and the standard's not quite there yet. And also to help inform some use cases and workflows. Now, some of these can be quite proprietary to firms, others are not, and they're very generic issues, which you can really serve everybody here, in the audience. So the not so good. What's the not so good about this? Okay, so vendor participation could be better. So first of all, I'll give a shout out to people like London Stock Exchange Group, to IPC, to Dow Jones, and there's a long list actually of vendors who are really front-footed around this. And they are not just talking, they are putting it into action, they are delivering real solutions which are being used on clients' desktops today, and that is fantastic. However, I spend an awful lot of time going to other conferences across capital markets and see panel after panel of lots of different vendors sitting there talking about the world of interoperability in FDC3, and it's just talking, and they're really not doing anything. And we really need less talk and more implementation, okay? So the banks and asset managers with their own in-house apps are doing a great job making that work internally. They want to connect it to more vendor applications. We need the vendors to go on that journey, but kudos to the leaders in the vendor space. Second up, we need louder voices from organizations with real use cases. So we synthesize this information ourselves from our clients into Finos. But actually, a number of these vendors, they could be really, really specific. There's real challenges that they're trying to solve for their clients, and they could help inform the discussion with real use cases. That'd be super helpful at these at the table. And then the other thing is that we really need to move the standard on around security and data controls. So in our product, in here Core, here Enterprise Browser, we have a number of APIs supporting interoperability. We are fully FDC3 compliant, but we also have a number of controls and APIs that really deal with the security and data standards that really large financial institutions expect. To control data and make sure it's not shared incorrectly between different app providers and so on. And it's great that we've got that in our product, but for this to really flourish across the industry, we need the standard to evolve and make sure it's covering the right security and data controls. So we're supporting that work. And with everything we do around this type of standard, we kind of take a view that we will do the work, we will go ahead first, we will help our clients solve real problems. And when the standard's there, we'll start deprecating, any uniqueness or APIs around us and make sure that we're following the standard as well. And that's our approach as an organization, which has been playing really, really well. So the next thing we found is about cross-device is rather essential. When we started this, it's all about a desktop. It was about containerized. It was about applications operating within a container. Well, it's like, okay, we're living in a multi-device world, okay? It's like people are on their mobiles, they're on their tablet. It's also multi-environment with a huge amount of VDI, virtualized applications, and so on as well. So we have to think about that. So this is where cloud interoperability has really become front and center of our clients' agenda, and we've developed a really great solution, really allowing these different devices to kind of persist across different services, effectively using cloud infrastructure so they can communicate between different devices. And what I'm going to do is give you some very specific examples of how this works today in practice. Use case one. Anybody on a trading floor, you definitely know this. So it's not uncommon to have two boxes under a trader's desk, right? You've got some very, very heavy applications on their desktop, and it's kind of load balanced across kind of two boxes under the desk, powering kind of six screen kind of configuration or more. So with Cloud Interop, we can connect these two different boxes under the desk. via the cloud services and allow context to be passed. So I'm doing something in one application on effectively one box, click a symbol, whatever it may be. It's going to share the context, it's going to update the other box on my other screens. Really, really important. So use case one, very, very popular, applies to most trading floors. Second, virtualized environments. So we all know that kind of thick applications are still here. Some of those are kind of virtualized because they're so heavy. Maybe they don't have a two-machine setup. And so the desktop is kind of a hybrid. Some virtualized apps is particularly true on the buy side, for example, where they have an order management system which might be virtualized onto the desktop, and then they have other applications sitting there, live on the device on the desk. So connecting these environments is really, really important. So if I want to copy and paste from one application into the other, but the other is sitting in a Citrix virtualized environment or something, I can do that with this connection. Next up, handover. People are using their desktop. They are constantly kind of interchanging between laptops, moving around, whatever it may be, keeping devices in sync, same screen configurations, kind of picking up where they left off wherever they travel. Very, very popular. Next, mobile. This is really interesting. We've seen anything from wealth advisors who are sitting down or in retail branches talking to their customers about something. They hand their customer an iPad, and that iPad is updating dynamically with information as the advisor or a retail person is sharing information with them, just as an example here. Next up, server-side connections. So, we've clearly got we've got AI, we've got lots of different data services, many of those sitting on those server-side connections. We can implement a configuration setup where certain data and information is pushed to devices. So the user can define what device they would like certain information pushed to update context or something. And so this, again, has become really, really popular with clients' server-side connections. And then finally, the last one with one of our partners, IPC, is hard turrets. So particularly on trading floors, you may have this hard turret device. You can effectively have the voice transcription from that device, updating your desktop in real time, the context changing on the desktop as a conversation is taking place. It could be that somebody touches a key on the turret to call a particular client. Their desktop updates with all that relevant client information. So really, really powerful, all enabled by cloud interoperability and underneath the hood, the FDC3 standard where it's available. So that's it from me. Our customers really care about this. Productivity is absolutely crucial. We are here to help. So please do talk to the team, particularly Johan around FDC3. I'm Adam at here.io. Marzi is the one that you want. Marzi at here.io for complaints. Thank you.